I watched a Telugu film recently. It's called Ala Vaikuntapuramlo. The film has been doing exceedingly well at the box office. I loved it too, and I call it the perfect blockbuster. I am quite fascinated actually, because I haven't seen many commercial movies achieve this level of completeness or perfection in recent times. Through this video, I want to share with you why I feel that way. This isn't a film review though. You don't need one anyways at this stage. I'll instead be focusing on the structure of storytelling in general and look at other successful movies and see if there's anything common between them and this film. What's that one secret ingredient that's common to all of them? Let's see. Film scripts are like mathematical equations. There's always a problem and then there's a solution to that problem. In between are the steps to solve that problem. These steps are nothing but the story. The greater clarity we have about the problem at hand, the better idea we have about the kind of solution we desire. And the sooner we get to know what the problem is, the sooner we get hooked to what we see on screen. Every step in between has to take us closer to the solution that we have in our mind. Every new character, be it a friend or a lover or a villain, has to move the story forward to its logical conclusion. Every obstacle, victory, emotion, twist, or whatever happens in the movie has to contribute to the whole. To cut a long story short, every scene in any film should matter. Only then will it completely appeal to us. Great filmmakers waste no time in putting us right in the middle of the action. They pull us into the story right away. They are not afraid to bring the problem to us in the very first scene. Even if they don't present the complete problem, they give us enough to get ourselves invested in the movie. And if you look at the last scene of such movies, it will fulfill what the first scene promised. I'll give you a classic example of this phenomenon at play. Why just one? I'll give you a few examples. Here they are. I'll start with my favorite, Bahubali the beginning. Remember the first scene of the movie with Shivagami and the baby? We know something wrong has happened. We know she's being chased and that the baby needs to live and fulfill his destiny. Rajamouli doesn't waste a single minute in establishing that fact. From then on, we are emotionally invested in Bahubali because the setup is very clear. We root for him to climb that mountain, to save those people from that falling statue, to save his mother and so on. And then finally, in the last scene of Bahubali, the conclusion, he becomes the king of Mahishmati. That's our problem and solution complementing each other perfectly. One more example. Let's pick the legendary Sholay. In the very first scene, Thakur wants to recruit two crooks, Jay and Veeru, for a mission. We are not even sure what that mission is, but we know that there is a problem and Thakur is trying to solve it. What they do next and how they solve the problem is what we are interested in. We are invested in the journey right away. Let's now look at another example, but this time a love story. DDLJ, Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. The very first scene establishes Amrish Puri as a true patriot rooted to Indian culture and values. Then we are immediately introduced to the spoiled brat Shah Rukh Khan. He is a hardcore westerner, flirting with girls and so on. And then there is the connection between them, Kajol. We know that these worlds are going to collide soon, and somehow all of them have to make peace with each other, finally. There are countless other films, all huge blockbusters, that crack this formula very well. The greatest stories have the simplest structures, and trust me, it isn't so easy to create such simple storylines with such clear beginnings and ends and in-betweens. It takes time, effort, and a certain genius to achieve that. Most movies fail because they mess up this process. Here's what happens often. The problem isn't clear. We don't know why we are watching the movie. Or, the problem is clear, but the solution isn't satisfactory. We are unhappy. The problem and solution are both clear, but what happens in between isn't clear, and it confuses us and frustrates us sometimes. Another type. Problem is presented too late and we are already bored by then. Or the solution is presented too early. We don't know why we are still watching the movie. Sometimes there is no problem and there is no solution. We just bang our heads against the wall. All these are equations that put those movies at risk. The acting might be great, the music and other technical departments might excel, but if this formula isn't cracked well, everything goes waste. There are so many movies that fall under this category. And yes, how did I forget this one? There's one more equation. It's actually an amazing format, which can be frustrating for some. Over here, the solution comes first and the problem arrives last. I actually enjoyed one such movie recently. Guess which one? Guess it? Yeah, it's Saho. I blogged about it too in detail. You can find the link in the description. Do read it when you're free. Okay, so that's about the structures of films. The equation matters and it needs to be balanced very well for any movie to succeed. Let's come back to Alahu Vaikuntapuramlo now and see what they have done. Alahu Vaikuntapuramlo starts with a great sense of urgency. The very first scene not just shows us the problem but also tells us why the problem is created in the first place. We know a terrible wrong has been committed. We also know that this wrong has to be fixed. And we also know what the solution for that must be. Our hero, the poor Bantu, played brilliantly by Allu Arjun, has to get back to where he belongs. And Valmiki, his father, also played brilliantly by Murali Sharma, needs to be punished in some way. As an audience, for us, this creates an instant sympathy for Bantu's character. We empathize with him. Every small or big thing he does on screen makes us root for him. Just the way we wanted Mahendra Bahubali to be in Mahishmati, we want Bantu to be in Vaikuntapuram. Allu Arjun's boy next door charm and vulnerability mixed with solid strength of character makes him the perfect fit for this role. With him being at the core of the story, every scene and character that appears complements him well. Even the bits that seem like they've been added just for the sake of entertainment, they play a role in driving the story forward. This eventually leads to the climax which we desire. It's like life has come full circle. Trivikram has not just structured but also packed and packaged this story amazingly well, with all the other departments beautifully complementing his vision. It's the simplicity in the way the movie is structured that does the trick for it. If you haven't watched the film yet, or if you plan to watch it again, pay attention to this aspect too and you will be amazed. Why just this movie? Try and do this for every movie you watch. Let me know what you think. See you again soon. And yes, do like and share this video and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more such videos. Cheers. Bye bye.